Hello again, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani here on this Tuesday afternoon, and great pleasure to be joined by one of the stars of Saturday night in Jacksonville. UFC 249 has come and gone, but I am still buzzing over what we saw at a Bryce Mitchell against Charles Rosa. An unbelievable performance, and like I said, I thought he was one of the top stories coming out of Saturday night, so I'm happy to be talking to him again. Thug Nasty himself is here joining us today. Bryce, how are you?
Good, man. Thank you for having me. As always, I appreciate it, man.
It's great to talk to you. And a couple of things I want to address right before we talk about the fights themselves. True or false? This is your first time using Zoom.
Yeah, first I just got it on my phone, figured out how to work it. I'm good to go now.
Oh man, your whole life is going to change now. This is sweeping the nation. This is how people are interacting in the midst of this pandemic. So I'm happy that you went through the trouble of downloading it. So thank you very much. Zoom has finally come to Arkansas officially now. And number two, we were supposed to talk yesterday, and I really respect the reason why we didn't speak. Could you tell the people why you were unavailable yesterday?
I had to celebrate Mother's Day yesterday. My mom, she was working me to death. Out there. I moved a bunch of bricks all day because she's doing a raised garden, and I mean, it's really nice. But she's got a peach tree. She's got a bunch of flowers and all this. Her whole yard is just a garden. So
So you were booked.
yeah, busy, man. She worked me to death.
Mother's Day is a very important holiday in your household.
Absolutely, man. It's got to be.
Yeah. So even though you just went through a training camp and a fight on Monday, mom wanted you to work.
Oh yeah, you know how I look at it, man, as I said, thank God I can do all this because, you know, sometimes you can't walk after your fight, and
Right.
I'm just so happy to be able to move 50 bricks out there that, I'm in good enough health fighting the day before that I can go work in the yard all day, so I'm really thankful about that.
Well, I'm not surprised that you're able to do that. The strength that you showed on Saturday, my man. I mean, I'm blown away by that performance. True or false? I think personally, as a viewer, that was your best performance in the UFC. And you've had some amazing ones. Let's not forget what you did in your last fight, the Twister. But what you were doing on the ground and the way you dominated, I thought you won every round 10-8. It was that dominant. Would you agree with that statement? Do you think that that was your best showing in the UFC thus far?
I thought my last fight was better.
Really? Why?
Oh, you got to finish. Get to finish.
Okay.
I
So
always want to finish. I mean, I think every fighter does, or should, in my opinion.
how close do you think you were to getting a finish? Like, was there one moment in particular that you were like, dang, I can't believe he got out of that?
No, hey, I don't think I was that close. I think I was close to cooking his body to the point of exhaustion. Like if we was fighting till one of us died, I think that uh, he probably would have gave out first. He still. I think his best chance was like if I would have went for an armbar. There was one point in the fight where I went for an armbar, and he's the type of guy he'll probably just let his arm snap before he taps, and then he'll get on top of you. But if you go for an armbar, you're inherently giving up position. So
Right.
I didn't want to go for an armbar. I just wanted to stay on top and hit him every chance I got. And I knew eventually, that's gonna break you down. You can't just sit there and take elbows all day.
Were you surprised by how tough he was? The fact that he didn't break, the fact that he didn't tap?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I was.
Okay. So you were expecting to submit him.
I was expecting his neck to be really hurt. I think that neck surgery he got, they put extra vertebrae in there or something. I'm telling you,
Huh.
that boy is tough.
Wow. Is it a letdown? Like when you're going into the third round, you're like, damn, I've thrown all this at him. I've been suffocating this guy, and yet I can't submit him. Mentally, is that a bit of a letdown?
Absolutely not. I mean, I was winning the whole time, so I was more what was going through my head. I was really excited. My thoughts were don't get too excited and don't do anything. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I was just sitting there because I was wanting to do all this cool stuff on the feet, try out all these new moves, and then I start thinking, well, you took them down and didn't get really that threatened and still beat the out of them. So just do that again in the third round. I didn't want to do anything
Right.
crazy because he could knock me out. He was punching hard. He was throwing as hard as he could every punch. and every kick. So I just didn't want to get caught with something if I knew that I could go to the ground, and I thought I was going to finish them the whole time. I thought, well, the third round is this the round. This, I thought I was going to get them.
So
And
when
I
the
just,
fight when the
just,
fight ends 15 minutes and you dominate him like that, but you don't get the finish, do you walk out of the cage disappointed?
yeah, I was, yeah, that's, I don't want to, be a negative Nancy or whatever, but, yeah, I go and try and finish. I go and
Wow.
try and finish, and I fell short of that. And, thinking a 5-round fight, I probably could have finished it. Maybe, I don't know, I don't know.
Were you specifically targeting the twister? Like, did you want to pull that off again?
Um, yes, I mean, I practiced it a lot.
It's almost like your finishing move now. Like you're like a pro wrestler, and that's what you're the twister guy.
Well, the only way to get the twister is to cook them to the bone. That's how you should get the twister. You shouldn't be hunting the twisters. Just when you're cooking them, they'll give you a twister. But the objective is to cook them to the bone.
For those that don't understand what that means, what does that mean? Cook them to the bone.
Well, you gotta cook them hard and fast like a pressure cooker. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And just that meat's gonna fall off the bone when it's ready. But you take that meat out too early, still tough, ain't ready. You gotta put it back in.
Was there anything in hindsight you could have done differently to, in fact, cook them to the bone?
Uh, two things, yeah, two things.
Okay.
Uh, the number one, I could have put on more size. That Matt Sayles fight, I think that I just squeezed it. I squeezed Matt Sayles way harder than I squeezed Charles Rosa. I was stronger during that Matt Sayles fight. I got back up to like 163 pounds, and this fight only got back up to 158. And so the actual power of the squeeze that I had on Matt Sayles was harder.
Mm.
In very good condition, like endurance wise. But I think that if I just had a little bit more squeeze, that fight was like 161 pounds or something. Uh, that would have been better. And then more short elbows, not winding up big ones, just pop, just
Mm.
short elbows.
How much do you weigh in the cage on fight night?
Well, it varies. That night I weighed 158.
158. Do you think eventually you'll have to move up to 55, or you don't think that would be the case?
Oh no, I'll never have to go to 55. I'm a small 45er.
Okay.
Most of those guys go in at 65, 70 something.
Well, they were talking on the broadcast about your new strength and conditioning program. How much of a factor was that in this fight, and how much you credit that for the performance? And what's so different about it?
Well, I actually lifted more weights my last fight,
Oh,
the Matt Sayles fight,
yeah.
and I lifted way more weights then. I was lifting at least 3 days a week, exactly 3 days a week. And this time I was doing it once or twice and was just doing it myself. Wasn't having Sean Ross tell me all the new workouts and stuff. And but most of it's just eating. I gotta make myself eat more. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put on a little bit more weight. But you know what happened? That Matt Sells fight, that weight cut was so terrible. I thought, man, I can be a little bit smaller and it ain't gonna hurt me, you
Hmm.
know. And then the weight cut was so easy this time. I'm thinking, well, I cut a little bit more weight and I have a little bit more squeeze, but I don't want to cut all that weight like I did against Matt Sells. So just finding a balance between the two.
The sweet spot, if you will.
Hmm.
What was it like fighting in an empty arena?
I prefer it
Why?
because I can hear my coaches and I can hear his coaches.
Wow. So you could actually hear his coaches.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
and like, how is that beneficial to you?
Well, I like hearing panic in the sounds of their voices,
Okay.
and makes me feel good. It relaxes me, and you can hear technical instructions.
Hmm.
and my coaches talk a lot of. They're really good at it. They like,
Okay.
they don't go overboard, but they just like to say the right things at the right time. It's funny.
So they say that kind of stuff to almost get him off his game?
I'm sure. Yeah, they're just talking. They're just but I like being able to hear them.
And so when you're fighting in front of thousands of people, like the last time you fought, you can hear your opponent's corner?
Yeah, just like yeah. I mean, hearing clears right now. Like they're
Okay.
talking.
But when you're fighting like normal days in front of thousands of people, you can't hear them as well. So that's why you say that you like it better the way in which you fought on Saturday, the
Yeah,
setting. Right. Did it
right.
remind you of The Ultimate Fighter?
It did remind me of some backyard fights, man. Funny.
You've been in those?
Oh man, I've had a couple now. Nothing crazy now.
I didn't know. I mean, we all know about Kimbo and Jorge Masvidal, but I didn't know about the Arkansas backyard brawls.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
What was your record?
Uh, I definitely lost one time. That was in the front yard though.
Oh, what's the difference between front yard and backyard?
I don't know. I don't think I've lost in the backyard.
What happened on the front yard?
Well, I was just we was really just training, but we got real. I mean, it was like intense training. We was training. My neighbor Jimmy knocked my ass out.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, we wasn't mad at each other or nothing. We was just like, hey, you want to box a little bit? You want to box? And we started going and going. And I mean, he put me down. It was like a 10 count or something. It would
Whoa.
have. Yeah, yeah. I
What
mean,
kind of gloves?
probably 16 ounce, 12 or 16 ounce.
How long ago?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe I was 13. Maybe I
Oh,
don't know.
okay. So this is well before the UFC.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
I might have been. I don't know. I was young though.
You should rematch Jimmy now. Where's he at?
I don't know, man. He's probably big. He was like 6 foot something, I think.
Oh, okay.
He probably
And,
still whooped my ass.
something tells me no. And overall, the whole week in Jacksonville, with the testing and how everything was running, what did you make of it?
um, I'm not a germaphobe or whatever. This stuff really don't bother me at all.
Right.
Uh, but I am glad that they did that. I'm glad that they did that. Either way, even if they didn't have all this stuff, I still would have taken the fight. But I actually am glad that they did isolate us and test us
Why are you glad?
because now I know when I got there, at least I didn't have it. You
Sure.
know, and they tested me a couple days. I showed no symptoms of getting it, so I should be good. If I got it, it was in the airport.
Right.
They can't control that. But hey, I may have saved somebody's life.
How so?
Well, I was in the airport bathroom and a janitor, he was mopping the floor. And I had to pee. And I go in there and there's this jumbo fan blowing on me. And I told the janitor, I said, hey man, I'm not a germaphobe or anything, but think about this. And he stopped mopping. He turns around and looks at me. And I was like, this is a respiratory airborne virus going on. And you're blowing up the jumbo fan. I said, you're circulating air. I said, think about that. Man, you're gonna be breathing it in. And he said, you know what, you're right. He went and he turned the fan off.
Oh, wow.
I could have saved somebody right there.
Yeah. Well done.
No,
That's a
I'm just
job well.
I mean, it was just me and him in the bathroom. We was already exposed. We was the only people in the bathroom anyways, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that,
No.
that is a bad practice. I don't
Yep.
think I saved anybody though.
Hey, maybe that guy, maybe that janitor, maybe, who knows? He's there all day. Tons of germs in the air. I like that. By the way, speaking of going to the restroom, when you were about to fight, Deron Wynn, who was one of your coaches in The Ultimate Fighter, tweeted a picture of you. Did you see this photo?
I did indeed.
What did you make of that? Do you remember this moment?
I do.
So the story was, according to him, that you had to go to the restroom right before one of your Ultimate Fighter fights, and he's like, "Yo, we don't have time, we don't have a spot," and you just went in the garbage can.
Hey, sometimes you got to, brother. You got to take out the trash.
This is common practice for you.
Indeed.
And he says he's got more Bryce Mitchell stories on the way.
Hopefully nothing too crazy.
DC told me yesterday that they tried to convince you to go to one of the bigger camps, and you said, hell no, I'm never leaving Arkansas. I'm training here. This is where I'm going to groom myself to be a UFC champion. Do you recall that?
No, I definitely didn't say that word for word. Maybe that might have been the impression they got. I never said something like that word for word. I actually do want to go train with them over there. I
Oh,
really, but it's hard to travel. Takes a lot of money. I've been to New York, Serbia, uh, a bunch of places, Colorado. I actually trained at Dominic Cruz's gym for I think 2 classes. Went over there and took 2 sparring classes, sparred with UFC fighters. This was way back in the day. And I've been around though, to a good amount of places.
it's interesting you say New York, Serbia, California. Serbia is like the one outlier there. How'd you make your way over to Serbia?
Well, I go to school with the Serbian guy, and
Okay.
he starts watching MMA, starts training jiu-jitsu. We instantly became friends. He invited me over. He said, "Come to Serbia, my brother. We will take care of you." And invited me over, and just great people, man. I actually trained with a judo Olympic gold medalist, so the
Wow.
the best judo dude in the world.
When was this? How long ago?
Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago,
Oh, okay.
like
Did you
that.
like
But
Serbia?
oh, I loved it, man. I still talk to the people I train with. I'm gonna go back over eventually. And my Serbian buddy, he comes through all the time. I just saw him a couple months ago. We went when he comes in town. We go hunting or fishing or something.
Okay. Was it cold? Was it winter time?
Yes,
Okay, man. I heard it's brutal.
it's it gets worse in other places. I really like it here.
Yeah.
The winter,
Um,
yeah, it's bad, but it ain't. I've heard a lot worse
right.
from in Arkansas. The
Now,
summers people don't like because they can't take the heat. But me, I'm built for it. I
uh,
love the heat.
yeah. I feel like you're built for everything based on what we saw on Saturday. Now, tell me, did we have any squirrel? Did we partake?
Man,
Celebratory.
no, sir. I've got some deer meat thawing now.
Oh, you do? Why no squirrel?
I've eaten them all. I
Still
can't,
again?
I can't always, man. I can't ever have a stockpile of them. They just don't last long enough.
Yeah, you need to figure out a way to get more. By the way, what do you do? You shoot them?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I ask a lot of people, Action Bronson. I don't know if you know Action Bronson. He's like a famous chef guy. Asked him
Uh,
if he had. No one's had squirrel before. You're the only one.
that's a delicacy.
Do they
Hey,
sell it in restaurants there?
no,
No.
I don't. Nobody. I don't think so.
Okay.
There's rabbit stews though. A
Right.
bunch of people farm rabbits around here. I've never heard of nobody farming squirrels around here though.
Oh, they farm. They're interesting. So
Yeah, a bunch of people farm rabbits.
even for Mother's Day, you didn't have anything. Did you have a special meal?
Well, we had salmon, pork chops.
Okay, that's nice.
Uh, good man.
And then, of course, the big news coming out of the event. Seems like Dana White's finally going to give you the shorts. He said it.
He did. He did. I
Did he
heard him.
say it to your face?
Yeah, yeah. He said we'll get you whatever you want.
After the fight?
After the fight, he did.
Do you believe him?
I do. I do. I think they're gonna let me fight in some camo shorts.
So the next fight, you'll be fighting in camo shorts.
I I firmly believe so.
That's amazing. I love it. And how soon do you want to return?
Uh, I really the reason I didn't mind taking this fight um is I already had signed up for a fight. I was already training for a fight and everything was normal the first half of the camp. Second half of the camp, gym shut down, everything shut down. Uh, I want to get back into my gym and get into a regimen of training partners and back to a pattern. And then once I get in that pattern, I'll probably be able to tell you. Just depend on how I feel and everything. I want to put on my weight and
Yeah.
just get back to training because
Yeah.
the gym ain't even open. So it's like, well, maybe by the end of this month it's open and everything's back to normal.
Hopefully.
Hmm.
Do you have anyone in your crosshairs? Anyone on your mind? If things
No,
go back to normal? No?
my manager's doing all that. You know, that's his job, you know, and he does it well.
I feel like this time next year, you're in the title picture.
Very well could be.
Yeah. I mean, what I saw from you on Saturday reminded me a lot of Khabib Nurmagomedov in terms of the way he grapples and he suffocates people. You were suffocating him. He was drowning out there. And it was just amazing to see how relentless you were. You were just, I can't, I enjoyed that fight on Saturday as much as any fight on that card. It was really a pleasure to watch.
No, I appreciate it, man. Good. I know there were so many intense fights on there. Um, it's you know, it kind of got nobody really paid attention to it much. I feel like, you know, but I mean, it was just such a big event. You know, there were so many crazy fights. Um, the whole main card, just
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So now what do you do now? Now that you're done helping your mom and everything's kind of shut down, like how will you spend the day?
About to run around town, pay some taxes, and you know, just do some stuff. I got to stop by a bank, pay some taxes, maybe get some groceries. But
Okay.
it's a rainy day out here. I was so wanting to wake up early, get out in the garden, and just you know prune some tomatoes and plant some okra. But I'm gonna wait till the next sunny day to do that.
All right. Well, enjoy it, my friend. Congratulations on the win. I appreciate you doing this and continued success to you. It's really been great watching you progress and grow as a fighter in the UFC. And I know you were disappointed about not getting a finish, but man, that was impressive stuff. So again, congratulations and great to talk to you as always.
Oh, thank you for having me. As always, it's much appreciated, brother. Thank you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.